Hello, amazing business owners. Welcome back to another episode of Bold with Brooke, the podcast and place to be if you want to actually make a living doing what you love. The former name of this podcast is Business Straight Up. The reason that I'm telling you that is because today I have an older recording to share with you. And if you remember a couple of weeks ago, I shared that there were a few episodes that kind of fell through the cracks. I lost one of my team members and they just never got published. So today is one of those conversations. It is still an amazingly valuable conversation. I wanted to share it with you all about taking care of yourself while running a business. A quick note on any links that you may hear, because this is an older recording. If I give any links that have a businessstraightup.com in front of them, just substitute boldwithbrooke.com. All of the redirects are working wonderfully, or they should be. So substitute in boldwithbrooke.com and you should be able to get to wherever you need to go based on the links that I provide. My guest is Jane Wenning, and I can't wait for you to hear this episode. Let's listen in. Hello, amazing business owners. Welcome back to another episode of Business Straight Up. I can't wait for you to hear this conversation today. Now, if you are watching on YouTube, I want to apologize for my post-bike workout mess that I am in right now, but I did make a commitment to show up for you guys, even when it's not perfect. And even though it's killing my recovering perfectionist self a little bit, I am still here. I wanted to make sure that you get this information because it is so important. Today's guest is Jane Wenning, and she is a specialist in helping business people, especially entrepreneurs, with taking care of themselves. And dare I say, starting to mother ourselves and make sure that we're getting enough sleep and make sure that we're eating the right things. And I think that so many of us have this idea of health meaning like 1,000 calories a day, working out 5 hours a day, lifting weights and going way over the top. And the bottom line, as Jane shares with us, is we can make these little changes every day to start to feel better. Because when we feel better, we can show up in a more complete way for everyone around us, for our kids, for our clients, for our students, for anyone we work with or touch on a day-to-day basis. So I'm so excited for you to hear this conversation today. If you love it, do me a favor, head over to iTunes and leave a review. And if you're looking for additional resources, I have something brand new that's out. Head over to businessstraightup.com/emails done to get all the details. Let's talk with Jane all about how the heck do we take care of ourselves so that we can be successful and more productive in our businesses. Hello there, gorgeous business owners. Welcome to Bold with Brooke, the podcast for creative business owners to learn the marketing and business skills they need to get more clients and design their lives on their terms so we can actually make a living doing what we love. Am I right? I am your host, Brooke Summer, and I'm an entrepreneur, educator, and champion of women, reminding them to embrace and step into their power. I'm bringing almost 20 years of business and marketing experience straight to you to help you get more clients and run a sustainable and successful business without burnout or overwhelm. Let's jump into today's topic. Welcome back, amazing business owners. I am so excited to bring you an amazing guest and an amazing conversation today, Jane Wenning. Jane was body shamed at age 11 and went on to become an amateur bodybuilder and realized that health was more than vanity. Jane works specifically with business professionals because feeling good in your body and your life can drastically change your business and help you be more productive. And I have to tell you guys, I made a commitment at the beginning of this year to show up more even when things aren't perfect. So this is me post bike ride, sweaty mess, no makeup, because you know what? This conversation matters. It's important. And I want everyone to hear exactly what Jane has to say because it's crazy good. Thank you so much for being here today, Jane.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for inviting me, Brooke. I'm so excited to share all my knowledge. I think it's a gift and I'm so excited to share it with your audience.
Absolutely. Can you tell me, I know we talked a little bit, but can you tell me a little bit about your journey and why you have stepped into helping business owners with their health?
Sure. So my journey starts way back when I was 11 and I was body shamed. And I remember being 13 and using my babysitting money to buy diet pills. That love-hate relationship with my body continued for 10 years. And finally, I just told myself in college that life has got to be better than this. I was not letting anyone into my circle. I wasn't trying to enter anyone else's circle out of fear of what they would say or what they would think. And at the time, I was in clinical laboratory science, and I was working with those two educations together to create my own form of wellness. And a year after having my third baby, I competed in my first bodybuilding competition and I won. And it was a huge boost to my self-esteem.
Wow. That's amazing. I'm so sorry we're
Fast
having.
forward a couple years and I'm taking care and my husband calls me and says, hey, because I was also in charge of our finances at home, and he calls me and says, you know what? A paycheck that I got a couple months ago didn't get deposited in the bank. Can you follow up on that? So sure. I had no idea where that paycheck was. I found that paycheck in a briefcase that I hadn't used in years. And I realized at that moment that even though I had gotten control of my body composition, there was something else that was just, that needed my attention, and it was my brain health.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I know that most of my listeners run their own businesses, and I feel like that tends to be so draining sometimes when we allow it, and our health often takes a back seat. What have you seen in your work that stands out for entrepreneurs and business owners, even aside from the corporate professionals?
I'd have to say that the biggest thing is recovery. That's one of my pillars. I have 4 pillars to health. Recovery is the first one because it ties into all the other ones.
Yes, running a business is totally a distraction from taking care of ourselves. And a lot of my listeners are also moms. And you and I had talked a little bit about this. Being a mom means even more distractions, right? And it keeps us from making ourselves a priority. We just tend to go more to the bottom of the list underneath all the things that need to be fixed. What is one thing that we can look at and implement every day to start to prioritize ourselves and our health and well-being?
Sleep. And I know that's really hard as a mom. One of my favorite hacks, I thought, to sleep, and I thought I was doing great until I wasn't, was my husband would always want me to, come to bed with him at 10 o'clock. Okay, the house is quiet. This is my productivity time.
Yeah.
I can't go to bed. What are you talking
Right?
about? And so I thought I had the greatest hack to this. And so I would drink like 2 or 3 big glasses of water before I'd go to bed. And I'd go to bed at 10 o'clock, knowing that in a few hours I had to wake up to use the bathroom. And when I did, I would just stay awake. So I thought it was great, and the house was quiet and I could get so much done, until I had that episode with the paycheck that was the epiphany moment that, hey, wait a minute. And then I started doing some research on sleep and found out that one of the sleep stages, deep sleep, is where our brains detoxify. Our brains actually condense, and fluid is pushed through our brains to help get rid of plaques and toxins that are in our brain and help us think clearer. And deep sleep doesn't happen according to the clock on the wall. Deep sleep happens more in tune with your circadian rhythm. So generally for most people, it's between 11 o'clock at night and 2 in the morning is when you cycle in and out of deep sleep. Mm-hmm. So that's when your brain detoxifies. So if I have one tip to give your listeners, it would be to hit that sleep window. Be in bed before 11 and sleep until at least 2, so that you are getting some deep sleep. And then there's a lot of things that can help you get deep sleep, but deep sleep is very important. And there's only 5%. I thought I was thriving on 4 hours of sleep, but only 5% of the population, 5%, can thrive on less than 6.
Yes, I have found for me, I actually feel my best between 8 and 9. So not even 8, but like between
Wow.
8 and 9. I need that rest. I need
Good for
that
you.
rest and the wake up fresh and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We
Good.
were we were just having a discussion in one of the Facebook groups that I work in, and someone was talking about where they spend money. And it's so funny. We were having this conversation because I drive a 2011 car. Like, I'm not really a car person, but we just bought a very expensive mattress because I love my sleep.
Absolutely. That is one place that if you are going to spend money, spend it on your sleep. I have 3 kids. My youngest one is getting ready to move out, and he talked to me. He's 21, and he talked to me about, oh, he's gonna try and save a couple dollars and have a blow up mattress for a while. And I
Mm.
said, I will. I will buy you a decent mattress. It needs to be on a box spring and it needs to be up off the floor so that you can get the full effect of your bed. And not
Yes.
only that, in this little studio thing that he's getting, then he's got some space under the bed for
Yeah,
storage. But
absolutely.
yeah, the mattress is so important. Yes, I
Oh
agree.
my gosh. Yes, I love that. In the past year and a half, I have really started looking at my own health physically as well as where my energy is. And I know how important it is for me and how much better I'm feeling. What are your 4 pillars of balanced health? You said recovery is one. What are the others?
So recovery is my first pillar. My second pillar is emotional energy. The
Mm,
third pillar is nutrition, and the fourth pillar is movement. And some of the clients that I work with, people gravitate to the nutrition and the movement pieces. But with some of the clients that I work with, I have them take, well, all of my clients, I have them take a survey. And I find that sleep, if we start with sleep, then I can get, by getting them to sleep the right amount of hours and um, in the right time frame, I can get them the energy that they've been lacking, energy so they can start putting movement into their day. Or when you have that energy from a good night's sleep, you're not reaching for all that quick energy stuff, so you can make better food choices.
yes.
So the first one is definitely sleep. My second one is emotional energy. The third one is nutrition, and the fourth one is movement.
Yes, I love that. I know that one of my coaches, Tara Newman, has a framework that the first pillar is energy, because the reality is, especially as a business owner or a mom or anyone who's a caretaker for other people, if you don't protect your energy, you're not going to be able to serve anyone else because you're going to be walking around like a zombie.
Yeah, yeah. That's my airplane rule. Take
Mhm.
care of yourself first before you try and help anybody else.
Yes, but that feels so wrong to us. I know I really struggle with the word selfish,
Yes.
right? And that goes back a long time, but I really struggle with seeing myself as selfish when I take care of myself. And it's just in the past year and a half that I've said, you know what? I can show up, I can be a better mom. I can be a better teacher. I can be a better leader for my clients when I'm taking care of myself.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, I love this conversation. That energy is so crazy important. And part of that, too, that I think a lot of people don't talk about, like we have our 4 pillars, but in the emotional energy can also be not dealing with the vampires,
Yes.
saying no.
So one of the things that I like to say in that emotional energy pillar is, just because somebody is in your inner circle doesn't mean they're in your corner. They
Mhm.
might be in your inner circle, but they are still toxic. Those are the sneaky ones. I mean, it's easy to see people that are on the outside of your circle that are toxic, but it's hard to see the ones that are on the inside of your circle that are toxic. And that is something that you really need to become aware of.
I'm writing that down. Just because someone is in your inner circle doesn't mean that they're in your corner. That is
Correct.
so true
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so important to think about. Oh my gosh. So, what is one tip in each pillar that can be implemented right away to start seeing better health or feeling better?
Okay, so in the recovery, again, I'm going to go back to sleep. Try and hit that 11 to 2 window. For a lot of people, they like to use their blue light. They like to use technology, iPads, phones, whatever it is. Get those things turned off a couple hours before you go to bed, because the reason is they emit a blue light that keeps your brain excited, and your brain thinks that it's daytime, and it doesn't start producing the melatonin that it needs for you to drift off into sleep. You should drift into sleep and not crash into sleep. And so when your body produces that melatonin, then you're also able to get into that deep sleep. So sleep is for my recovery pillar. For the emotional energy pillar, one of the things that I like to give business owners is sometimes we have very little transition time, especially if we're officing from home, and we might walk right from our office into our kitchen, and it's crazy. So before when you shut off your computer and you've got your day organized or your next day organized, just sit back and take 2 minutes and do some deep breathing exercises to transition you into the crazy of what the rest of your evening might look like. I know, especially as a mom, things get super hairy after 5 o'clock with running kids to activities and homework and food. And so give yourself that 2-minute transition time and do some powerful breathing. It will make you a better person as you switch hats and become a mom instead of that business person.
Yes.
And then for nutrition, my biggest tip for nutrition is know your oils. You have to know the fats that you're consuming, because there are healthy, good ones, and there are ones that you should not be eating at all. They actually modify your gene expression and create unhealth at the genetic level. And so those are oils that should not be in your cabinet at all. I don't like to tell people to throw this out or throw that out, but that is one thing I will tell you. Throw those out and start using good oils. You want to use coconut oil, you want to use olive oil, you want to use avocado oil. Those are some really, really good oils to use.
I'm
And
writing all
then,
these down.
and here's the thing, it doesn't take any time out of your day to use those oils over the processed oils, over the vegetable oils, over the canola oils. That doesn't take any time at all. It's just a difference when you go to the grocery store, and it is a difference in your wallet, but the health benefits will pay off far, far into the future.
Wow, I had no idea.
And then for the fourth pillar, for movement, I live under the 3C rule. I live under consistency, creativity, and compassion. And I like to apply this to movement. I have a good plan, but sometimes life happens when it comes to movement. And while I might be thinking in my head, yeah, I'm gonna get in a half-hour workout today, and then my phone starts to ring, and all of a sudden I've only got 10 minutes before I've got to be jumping in the shower and heading out to my next activity or meeting with a client. And so trying to be as consistent as possible, you need to involve creativity. So instead of that half-hour workout, you know what? Now I'm going to do a 10-minute HIIT workout, and I'm still going to get my workout in, but I use a little creativity on the side to do it. And if I just couldn't get it done, then I give myself some compassion. I give myself some grace, because I know my whole world isn't going to fall apart, and tomorrow I can pick up where I left off.
Yes. Oh, I love that. I know that for me personally, we have an elliptical and I won't touch it. That's boring. It's soul sucking for me. I don't enjoy it. But we go to the gym and play racquetball. Now, don't misunderstand me. Okay, we are not competitive or like super amazing at it, but we don't even know the rules. We just hit the ball. But it doesn't matter because that's fun and it's movement.
Yes. You know what? I've often wondered, where did the word play vanish and the word workout pick up? If we looked at
Ooh,
movement more just like play, I
yes.
think more people would be attracted to doing it.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I love that so much. And I love to play and with my kids, basketball, stuff like that. And those things matter. Those steps matter too. So
Right,
sometimes,
right.
especially as a business owner, if you can't get to the gym, maybe you just take your kids outside and play tag.
You do. Yep.
Something simple. Sorry, I'm writing this down. Play versus workout for sure.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. If you could talk to an overwhelmed business owner that is just trying to do all the things right now, maybe a parent or just even non parents who are business owners, what would you offer to them as encouragement to increase their productivity and overall well being?
I'd have to go back to the recovery piece. I'd have to go back to sleep because sleep ties into all of the other pillars. Again, if you're not sleeping well, then you have less patience with your clients, with your coworkers, with your employees. All these little things just seem to add up when you don't have sleep, when you haven't recovered your body, when your brain hasn't had the ability to flush itself out and be refreshed and renewed. So that would be my biggest tip is make
Yes.
sure that you're recovering. And part of recovery, it not only involves sleep, but it involves getting outside and being out in
Mm,
nature.
yes. Absolutely. So I have a question for you. I am
Sure.
a night owl. My natural schedule tends to be sleeping from midnight until about 8:30.
Okay.
But based on what you've said, should it be a habit to get up earlier in the morning so that I go to bed earlier? Like I'm feeling a little scared to ask this, but really, would that be better off for me even though it doesn't feel normal for me?
Give it a try. Try and bump your sleep time back in 15-minute increments.
Oh,
So
okay.
don't just jump in and try and go to bed at 10:30 if that's not a time that you would normally go to bed. But try and sneak your bedtime back either in 10-minute or 15-minute increments until you've got it, maybe close to that 11 o'clock. Now, if you routinely go to bed and you drift right off into sleep, then yeah, having that 11 o'clock bedtime, that would be a great start. And then doing your 8 or your 9 hours of sleep time would be a perfect way to help your body to be recovered, but yet capture as much of that deep sleep window as you can.
That's interesting. I love the 15-minute increments because I think so many of us, especially as business owners, we hear all of these people we look up to say, I get up at 5 a.m. so I can get things done. And I can't do that. I have tried. I can if I
Don't.
force myself, but why? Why am I going to force myself? I run my own business for a reason.
Yes, yes, for the freedoms. And then not only the freedoms, but you don't want to be walking around angry or like a zombie.
Yeah.
And especially with kids at home, you want to make sure that you're present for them. And you
Yes.
want to be that good role model. And how can you be that good role model if everything sets you off? If you're so edgy, everything
Yes.
sets you off.
Yes. Oh, this is so important. I think that so many times we talk about the hustle, right? And the go, go, go and get things done. And you have to have your editorial calendar and all this stuff. And that stuff is important. But if you're not taking care of yourself first, none of that matters.
Right, right.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for being here today, Jane. I know that your journey is inspiring and so many business owners could use a productivity boost and maybe a few extra sleep hours. For anyone listening that wants to learn more, where can they find out more about you and connect with you and learn more about what you do?
Okay. They can go to my website. It's 4-pillarshealth.com. And on my website, there is a productivity secrets that is one productivity secret for each one of my pillars. And then there's also a link to a 4-minute full body workout that if you've got 5 minutes that day, you do it once. If
Oh,
you've
wow.
got 15 minutes, you do it, take a minute break and repeat it as many times as you have time for. But it's a full body workout, so you get the cardio in, you get some strength training in, and it's a great way to do that creativity piece
Mhm.
and, follow the 3 C's, getting in consistency, creativity, but yet giving yourself some compassion.
Yes. Oh, I really love that. I think that anyone listening, if you are feeling that tug of, I know I'm not taking care of myself like I should be, definitely reach out, talk to Jane, get that download, because it is so worth it. I can tell you in the past year and a half, that I personally have benefited so much from losing the hustle and starting to take care of my body. And I know that, speaking as a larger woman, that sometimes this conversation is hard to have because it turns into something that we feel shame about. And it doesn't have to. When you're moving and you're taking care of yourself, it doesn't matter what size you are, right?
No, no. And then, you know what? There's another thing, Brooke, that I like to tell my clients. Every day you learn, you win, but you never fail.
Yeah.
And you never have guilt. So
Yes.
maybe I didn't hit my mark that day. I didn't fail. What did I learn from that?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
if I hit my mark, yay, that's a win for me. So every day is a win, every day is a learn, but there is no fail.
Yes, absolutely. To all of the listeners and business owners who have joined us today, I am so honored that you pressed play and spent this time with Jane and I. I have some homework for you because you didn't think I was letting you get away without homework. I want you to write down one thing that you want to implement to help you with your health and your energy this week, and share it in the community. You can access that community at businessstraightedup.com/community. You can also tag Jane and I on Instagram. I'm at Business Straight Up and Jane is at jane.wenning, because I know she would love to hear it too.
Yes.
If you are someone that wants to help other people and you know someone who can use this information, maybe you know someone that's just running ragged, taking care of everyone but themselves, please forward this episode over to them. If you were like, wow, this content was amazing, Brooke, how can I thank you? Can you head on over to iTunes and leave a review? I know it's small. It takes a little bit of time, but it helps me know exactly how I can serve you, and it helps me to get amazing guests like Jane. If you're watching on YouTube and seeing my post-bike mess, welcome there too. Hit subscribe down below. Either way, I'm so happy to have you here today. Take care of yourselves first so that you can serve everyone else, whether we're talking about clients, family, or anyone else. I can't wait to see what you do with your business and how you change the world. Thank you so much for being here today, Jane.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Brooke.
Have a wonderful rest of your day, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today and listening in. You can find all of the show notes for this and every episode over at boldwithbrooke.com/podcast, where you can also find all of the links or resources mentioned. I can't wait to work with you. Have an amazing rest of your day.